In this video, I'm going to completely tear down an old style Daisy 880, and I'm also going to point out some of the differences between the old style and the current production gun. There are two main internal designs of the Daisy 880. I call one of these styles the old style, and then the current one is the new style. I'll start by removing the forearms. When the screw's out on the forearms, there's a hook in the middle, and the forearm needs to be slid forward. There is also a plastic pin at the front of the forearm, so it's best to lift up the very front of the forearm and then slide it forward. The first generation of Daisy 880s did not have the diamond on the forearm. On the older Daisy 880s, the diamond on the forearm was composed of several plastic parts. The current Daisy 880 has a raised diamond pattern that is painted, with no individual pieces. When the forearms are removed, the pin that holds the pump arm can be slid out. Then the entire assembly can be removed through the end of the pump tube. On older Daisy 880s, the pump handle is metal. The pump piston assembly has maintained the same dimensions through all generations of the 880. Therefore, it is interchangeable in any year. Older Daisy 880s often have a wiggly buttstock due to the single screw securing it. The current models have 6 screws securing the buttstock. The old and new style buttstocks are not interchangeable. Old style buttstocks are no longer produced. If you cannot find a used one, you can adapt the new style, but you must replace both side covers to the new style side covers. Old style 880s use a different screw assortment than the new style. The older 880s had metal side covers. There was a transitional period in the 80s and 90s where old style internal workings had plastic side covers. On older 880s, the trigger guard is a separate piece. That part is no longer produced. There are many rifles that are very similar to the 880. For example, the 881 is almost identical. When the screws are removed from the side covers, the barrel shroud can be pulled off. There's a plastic button cast into the front sight that protrudes a little through a hole in the bottom of the barrel shroud. When the barrel shroud is removed, you can simply push on the hole to remove the front sight. The rear sight elevation ramp was cast of metal on the older 880s. With the bolt back and the screws out, the side covers can be pulled off. On the older 880s, the safety button is in the trigger guard. On this gun, I could not get the safety button out of the trigger guard, but it is comprised of the safety button, a spring, and a steel ball bearing. On the old style Daisy 880s, a pin goes through the frame rail and holds the pump tube onto the body. The pressure chamber seal design is completely different on the old style versus the new style. The old style has a brass pump tube. The pressure chamber seal assembly is located at the bottom of this pump tube. The trigger assembly is held in the body with 2 pins. The pin going through the trigger is hatched on one end, and you should drive that hatched end out. This is best done in a vise, or at least it's easier. Once the trigger assembly is removed, you have access to the exhaust valve. The barrel is often able to be removed from the body on the old style 880s. The exhaust valve is the screw-in style, and you will need a 1/2-inch wrench. New style guns use a twist-in valve. I will make a video later reassembling this gun. The buttstock end plate and pistol grip trim cap are the same on both the old model and the current model. The screws are also the same for the old style and new style. The exhaust valve can be further disassembled by removing the C-clip on the end of the stopper shaft. The pump piston head is held to the assembly by a roll pin. If you drive out that roll pin, you can take it apart. Again, this is easier to do in a vise. The old style pump piston head, while being exactly the same diameter and general size, was a slightly different casting than the new style pump piston head. I have several other videos on the Daisy 880, including a complete teardown of the new style 880.